Hello, my name is John Yates, and I am the Director of Product here at Slingshot. I wanted to talk to you today about how communication is evolving in the home services market. So, we've seen a lot of changes in the last few years about how companies communicate to their customers and how those customers want to be able to communicate to companies that provide them a service. I was on a call recently with one of our clients, and they were looking for help with a trend that they were seeing. And I'm paraphrasing a bit here, but the quote from our client was, I had a customer contact me recently, upset that they had to call in to resolve an issue. And the customer had asked them, can't you just send me a link to pay my bill or let me choose a different appointment time through text? I don't want to always have to call. That's not very convenient. And that last statement is really at the root of the changing landscape when dealing with consumers now. There's an expectation for convenience. Consumers expect to be able to use the tools they have at home to communicate to families, friends, and neighbors, and use those same tools to communicate to a business. So whether those are features of a mobile phone, a tablet, or a computer, there's a shift in mentality that I should be able to connect with you and solve an issue with you in a way that's most convenient to me as a consumer. So we've been keeping a close eye on a lot of these trends. And here are a few statistics from some recent studies that elaborate on this point about expectations and convenience. So 68% of consumers right now consider a hold time of 2 minutes or longer to be unacceptable. And 13% of consumers say that any length of hold time is just unacceptable. And my first instinct when seeing this data is that it's likely biased towards younger consumers or millennials, but these statistics actually excluded anyone below the age of 30. So if a consumer doesn't want to wait on the phone, they're going to abandon a call, which is obviously a huge contributor to lost leads or lost sales or even poor customer satisfaction ratings. And this has really manifested itself in a huge growth around different forms of communication. So web chat or text messaging or even social media messaging. The biggest growth with this in the industry has been with text messaging. Almost 50 million people this year have opted into business text messaging services. And more telling is the success of those types of communications. So 98% of text messages are opened, with 94% of those opened within the first 3 minutes of receiving them. And consumers are 3.5 times more likely to read a text message than an email. So the lifeblood of your business, your customers, want to talk with you the way that they want to, wherever they want to, and whenever they want to. And they expect you to respond to that quickly, or they go elsewhere. So this is a very clear signal that communication through non-phone channels is highly successful and responsive. So how do you ensure that you are handling that? Here are some of the challenges that we think about as we talk to our clients and that you should probably consider when building a strategy around your communications. So the first one is around revenue, 24/7 revenue. You might service your customers within specific windows of time, but they expect a level of service at any time. 25% of all sales opportunities happen outside of the normal business hours. So not only do you want to make sure that your business can handle other forms of communication, but you'll want to have a plan on how to handle that at any time of the day. And with customer experience, it is one thing to provide a number of ways for your customers to communicate with you. It's another to make sure that those that you provide have the same level of customer experience that sets you apart. So whether you're communicating on the phone or through text or through a web chat or responding to a message on Facebook, your customers are going to want 5-star service and have their needs taken care of. And feeding into that is having a way to really centralize your communications. There are a lot of tools out there that can handle text or web chat or other forms of communication, but you don't want your staff juggling multiple screens or having to learn a bunch of different systems. It's also really difficult to get good, accurate reporting when you spread out like that. And finally, consider the overall impact to your operations. So managing different skill sets, managing training, having the right coverage across these channels, all are important to make sure that this is additive to your business and doesn't really detract from your ability to service customers. So let's talk a bit about creating a plan if this is a direction that you want to go with your business. So the first thing is making sure that you get a good handle on what your customers expect. I showed a bunch of statistics at the beginning around overall consumer trends, but it's really important to understand what is going to resonate the best with the customers that you deal with. There are considerations, obviously, like location or things if you are more rural versus metropolitan. Some simple techniques around this would be surveying your customers or conducting a few experiments to see what gets you the best results. And conversely to that, how do you want to communicate? Does it make sense for you to offer a full suite of options at this point? Or if this is new for your business, do you want to start with one or two channels to get an understanding of how these various communication channels will work? If currently you have some of these capabilities, maybe you take a look at where they are producing results or where you need to improve. And obviously, the size of your operation is an important factor in this. And so is what you plan to do with the information. How do you take chat or take text messaging conversations and convert those into leads and new business? And then one other important consideration is making sure your customers know and understand how to reach you. If you're pushing traffic to a website, a web chat agent is obvious to the consumers as a way to interact. And your website could also include prominent areas for things like phone numbers or with phrasing such as call or text a specific number. And once you have these communication channels up and running, you'll just want to make sure that your customers or future customers know about them and can easily find them. And then finally, finding the right tool or tools that make the most sense for your business. You want something that gives you the right flexibility to grow as your business grows and gives you the set of capabilities that will benefit you and your customers. Ease of use for both the business and your customers is a factor. Does the tool have the right set of options so I can run my business the way I want to? Does the tool scale as my business grows? Does this tool offer me flexibility if my business is seasonal? Those are some of the things that you should consider on that. So this feels like a great time to kind of tell you a little bit about our solution here at Slingshot. So we're a bit unique in that we have a customer engagement platform that allows you to communicate on a variety of channels with your customers. But we also offer a BPO solution where you can let a Slingshot representative handle your traffic. And the nice thing is we let you decide how much or how little you want to involve us. So we can handle all interactions that come in only after hours or in overflow situations or some combination of those. And we identify ourselves as a tech-enabled service. And I want to note that the software component to this is free to use with our service. So anytime that we make updates or that we add features or bring along new technology, that's all included in our current offering. And things like automation and integration that you see in the middle of this slide, those are things we'll touch on in a moment, but those are important aspects as we move forward with the technologies that we have. And this is another view of what Slingshot encompasses. So we can handle email, text messaging, phone alerts, such as transcribed voicemails, web chat, Facebook integrations. All of that is combined to give you an omni-channel presence. And as I mentioned, any of these channels can be set up how you want to operate, with you fielding the conversations or with Slingshot doing that on your behalf. And finally, I want to give you a little preview on some of the new capabilities that we're starting to deploy right now. So we are building out integrations directly with various CRMs. So we can pull in customer data and write back or update that data in your CRM. And that gives us the ability to handle some routine tasks that happen every day, like rescheduling an appointment or paying a bill or just getting some information about a customer's account. And we can automate a lot of those tasks so that you don't have to have any operational expense in handling these interactions. And so what you see on the screen here is an example of a web chat bot, as well as a text bot that's interacting with the customer and walking them through a flow of rescheduling an appointment. Okay, I want to thank you for your time today, listening and watching. These changes are happening with consumers and they're coming at a rapid pace. So hopefully you picked up some valuable information from this discussion. Thank you.